Hi everyone. Quick announcement: if you're really not feeling it, don't do it. I mean, if you're not feeling it, you feel me? If it's not feeling right to you, say for instance, this is like my 7th time starting this video because it wasn't feeling right. My look, it wasn't flowing. You feel me? If things not feeling and flowing right, baby, re-examine it, repeat it, but don't pressure yourself. All right, that song by Ari Lennox, Pressure, that plays in the background like 100%. But don't pressure yourself whole time, okay? This is the, y'all, welcome back. This is the, y'all, welcome back. Y'all, this is the Venus in retrograde. Venus is retrograde, baby. Venus is retrograde. Venus is retrograde. All right, you all. Please make sure to thumbs up this video. Send and share this video out. People who make you feel good. People who allow you to continue growing and blossoming into the person that you are destined to be. Please remember to send and share it out. Send and share it out with groups, organizations, and people who you allow to continue growing and blossoming into the person they are destined to be. Excellent. Please remember to thumbs up this video and make sure you turn on the ringer, right? So you can hear when the videos is dropped. So we can be aware when the videos is dropped, okay? I think YouTube is still shadow banning some content, but it's really okay. We have multiple platforms. We on Instagram, coming in the Memory Astrologer, THEE Memory Astrologer, all that beautiful, wonderful jazz to further contact the other platforms we have. Cheshire Cat and Mercury, we're there, but we have other platforms that we can communicate on. We can continue growing on. There are other platforms that we post on. So come on over to the website, thememoryastrologer.com. Come on over to the YouTube. Come on over. Sorry, we're on YouTube, huh? Come on over to the Patreon. Come on over to we have a Twitter. Come on over, all right, you all. I love you all. I love you all. I love you all. Okie dokies, okie dokies. All right, y'all. So this is for who's retrograde? What were you just saying? Whose retrograde is it? Right answers only. I meant to say that. Right answers only. Whose retrograde is it? Excellent. It's Venus's retrograde. Give yourself a round of applause. Literally a round of applause, sweetheart. Okay. So in this, we're gonna be focusing on a whole lot, but I feel like I have a lot to say before, but I'm just gonna allow everything to come out when it's supposed to come out. So Venus is an inner planet. All right, y'all. I got y'all. I went back to the astronomy notes and said, let's just take a little jazz here, take a little jazz there, push it together so people have a good foundational awareness. Okay, Venus is an inner planet. And when I say that, I mean it's right before Earth. Okay, it's right before Earth. So that means it goes around the sun because we're orbiting around the gigantic star, and the star in the sky for us, the gigantic star is the sun. We are orbiting around that. We're running around. Everybody got their own speed. You feel me? So sometimes I run fast in the morning. Sometimes I run fast at nighttime. You feel me? So we all have our orbital systems. We all have our orbital awareness. Okay. So we know it's a whole bunch of planets. We know we're right now talking about our inner planets. So that's 4. Yeah, 4. Okay. We're in our inner planets. So with our inner planets, they are orbiting around the sun, but not as slow as the outer planets. You know, there's an asteroid belt that separates the inner planets from the outer planets, okay? But we're back to Venus, okay? Venus is right before Earth. Venus days, the amount of times that it takes Venus to orbit the sun is 225 days, okay? Okay, so 225 days. In Earth, it takes 365 days. So we got a year. Boom, 365 days. Leap year. You feel me? We're understanding we're there. So with that, I just want us to be more aware that Venus moves faster than the Earth. So since we know that Venus moves a little faster, and now it's moving in a backwards direction, what is our slow period? What is our slowing down period? What is our ability to understand the different flows? You feel me? Because it's just like the planets are communicating with the planets already know, you feel me? So how can we be on the path of really what's going on? If something that goes faster than Earth that also impacts Earth, you feel me? Because we're not neighbors, but we neighbors, you feel me? because we're in the inner planet family. So with this, since you know that Venus travels faster than the Earth and is now slowing down, how can we take this information in? So how can we use this to our benefit? Maybe we have been doing a lot, so maybe how can we better organize our time or better be mindful of our own time, of our own energy, and really what does that look like? Because you feel me, I can be like, all right, bro, I got 10 things to do, and I got 5 days completed, so I'm going to do 3 things in every day, 3, 6, 9, I'm done. I'm done in 3 days, 3 days tops, 4 days tops, you feel me? But maybe we need to start sporadically seeing when we get our energy, when's the highs, when the lows, to start accurately prepping and setting things that, you know, benefit our schedule over time. You get me? So if I know, you feel me, if I'm in school and I got papers that's due in a month, I know I shouldn't wait to the last minute, right? I should be prepping and using my time and energy. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So we're here. We're connected. We're here. We understanding? Thumbs up? Okay. All right, y'all. So whole time it's Venus retrograde. Venus retrograde starts Saturday, July 22nd, and then it ends. Well, I'm gonna give it to you straight. It stations September 3rd, but you know it takes 24 hours before it stations to start moving. You feel me? You just can't be like you driving. You went from a stop sign, and then it's a red light at the end of the next block after the stop sign. So you know you're not finna run through the stop sign to go to a red light. No, you're gonna slowly gauge your distance, stop. You're not gonna gun your engine to get to that red light. You feel me? You're gonna set the momentum, you feel me, to use it energetically, momentum edit. You feel me? You get what I'm at. We gonna understand the gist to move the right way. Or at least you feel me, I'm not gonna be, wasting gas, gunning my engine, stop. Like, how's your brakes? So maybe this is a really good time to look at our brakes, look at the inside of our car. When's the last time we got our fluids changed? Oils changed? Looked at, when they take out the thing, they give it to you in that little paper. Like, you see your oil? When was the last time you had an oil change? What's your oil look like? How is your car with oil? And that could also mean gasoline. That's also power steering fluid. Okay, that's also, if this is just a really good time to see basically what's going on in our car, okay? So see what's going on. So after, when it goes, after the wreck. But also, I'm not a mechanic, and I would most likely book a reading because just as Venus is going direct, Mercury retrograde starts August, and this is September. Do you feel me? That it starts I think it's the last 2 weeks of August, and now 2 weeks later, September 4th. No, So I would get a reading. I would schedule a reading about that because, Venus goes direct September 4th. And then September 5th, Jupiter retrograde starts. So I would get a reading especially about that. But this is a really good time to see if things, what adds up, what does not add up. But since we got into that time period, okay, Venus starts now and it ends September 4th, okay? It's in the sign of Leo. I'm going to highlight it so we can all be aware. Where is Leo in here? Because y'all know I just be printing out these charts. Okay, there goes Venus. Okay, look. I want us to be able to see the degree. I also probably should highlight everything. So the first things first, we're going to look at the ascendant. Right, why do we look at the ascendant, everybody? Right answers only. Why do we look at the ascendant? These are the perspectives we're looking out of. This is the lenses. Probably what's going on in our environment. Yes, these are the things that, our focus should be around this. Our focus should be around, this is the things that might be impacting our viewpoint about life, our approaches to life. So from this experience, that's why we're looking at the ascendant. That's why we always look at the ascendant in every chart, because we have our own, I don't want to say modality, but we have our own viewpoints about life. We have our own charts. We have our own individualized charts. Somebody out there might be a Gemini sun, Gemini rising with, I don't know, Sagittarius moon, okay? Somebody out there might be a Sagittarius sun, Cancer moon, Scorpio rising, okay? So we have all these different perspectives, all these different identities that are constantly going on simultaneously at once, okay? So really what that means is, say for instance, it's a circle. Let's get some paper, y'all. Say for instance, we got a circle. This is how we're going to break it down, because this is how we're going to view Venus in this sense, okay? We got a circle. Boom. Sorry, y'all. That's a lot of things going on. We got a circle. Wonderful. Chef kiss. Now, since we have a different perspective about the outside world, we now have another circle. Boom. But we don't see just two circles, right? We see the connection of two circles. Excellent. Now we have another awareness. Chef kiss. Excellent, right? Now it's over here, okay? Wonderful. Now we have this other awareness, okay? Now we have these three awarenesses about the outside world, excluding ourselves, okay? Wonderful. Now we have this last awareness. Wonderful. Foundational wisdom. We've learned a lot, right? Y'all, this is very, be mindful about the conversations, what you're saying, what you're listening to, and be very mindful about the sensitivities of our throat. Excuse me. So now, since we have this foundational awareness, we're going to now add a circle over here, okay? So we now see that these two circles, well, these three circles, the beginning facet of ourselves, boom. The awareness about, our first awareness, right? Those things out in the world, boom. This could be also when we're going to school, when we're learning about ourselves, when we're learning about our friends, about what type of friend we like, about sharing, you feel me, about team player, about making friends, little things like that, okay? Boom. Excellent, sweetheart. And this is our last one, okay? This is the last awareness that we just went through, gained, experience. Boom. We're going to call this experience learned. So now, because of this first and this last, we, the individual, of course, in these outside layers are growing, or more so steady growing our awareness to the outside world. And from this facet, we should be seeing the interlooping loops within, you feel me, the major, but how it also extends out. Okay, so we see this as a system. The system started with one person with a singular identity, soul, whatever you want to say. And then it expanded out, expanded out is really the word. So from this, we are seeing that we are having, or maybe we should start seeing the many systems that we have externally, outwardly, that we are connected to. That could be the hats that we wear. That could be the groups that we are a part of. That could be the relationships that we are part of. That could be the jobs that we are part of. You feel me? You might be, I don't know, an accountant by morning and by night you work at the bar. You feel me? So we have all these different awarenesses, these different perspectives. And then maybe what if we're out there after life, after high school is more so what I'm trying to say. And we are now going into the job, or we're now going to the field of like using our hands. The field of, it's really artist expression, to be honest. That's what I was saying. It's really wood. People like to do wood and canvas work. I think that's I see that. It's wonderful. It's really wonderful. We might be thinking about, okay, I'll sign up now, 100%. People who work artistry in that area, who does painting, who does woodwork, you might be thinking about like an addition polisher. What type of polisher will work best? Especially, look at what type of canvases, you feel me? Because it's giving wheat bread. You know what wheat bread look like? You know how canvases be looking like sometimes white bread? I don't know how else to say it, but this is how it's given to me. So, because we like the canvas that look like wheat bread, we need to look at wheat bread type of Primers, that's the word. Primers, okay? Does that make sense to all the artists and the canvas workers and people who deal with that? Start seeing the sustenance and the nutrients that the systems that we have in place and that the resources we use, and see the things that match that, see the things that go along with that. Because a lot of times we be pushing or meshing two things together that you feel me, that really doesn't go along, that can just, you know, I'll give you a really good instance. When people try to put French fries in grease, you can see the water on top of the grease, okay? So that's the two substances that are different that are layered on top. And that's probably an instance that we don't want to have with our paintings, with our canvases. But this is now spreading out to people who do, what is it called? Oh my goodness. All of these visions I'm seeing, and it's like, I don't know what the words. Pottery. Boom. People who do pottery, but especially like bowls, deep bowls, vases. I guess you all are like doing the pottery and you're all gonna use it to like hold candles in. If we think about these, once again, the substance, if we think about the material that these things are made of, think about the substance, the long-term use of it. Think about all of that. Have that all, and then ask questions, because then you will be able to get the resources you need, type thing. So that's really just we got so far. But y'all get the Venn diagram overarching aspect. So boom, we got a whole lot of information right there. Took us off on a little tangent, but I apologize about that. So we looked at the ascendant. The ascendant is Scorpio 1. So immediately in my head, I'm saying like, you can just cut the lights off and it immediately get dark. But that, how does that look outside in real life? What does that look like? There's a gradual process. There's a layered process. There's a layered process to deepen, toward analyzing, toward being more aware and more analytical. And that is a practice, and that is a prioritizing facet, but that is every facet that we all need to do. It's more so like when you get bills, you feel me, you can't just keep allowing the bills to pile up, or you shouldn't allow the bills to pile up. We need to start thinking, maybe this is not the time to be shredding yet, but you know, this is a time of collecting, being aware, becoming aware. What really does that mean to become aware? And right now, we need to do deep, fear? Okay, so we have children. Give me 1 second, y'all, for real. What is that? Neptune. Okay. Interesting emotions. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of things here. We need to be very mindful of how we speak to our children. I'm off tangent now. We need to be very mindful of how we speak to our children, because we can be speaking to them in a way that they're not really aware of really what we're talking about. So I feel like having a conversation saying, do you understand what I'm saying, sweetheart? Well, what part do you not understand and what part do you do understand? Okay, so we need to start asking more clarifying questions. Because right here, this is saying that we need to ask more clarifying questions to our children, but also that allow them to like really check in with themselves, really harness the ability to regulate oneself. And to regulate oneself is more so checking into like the individual systems and how the individual systems make up the whole body, right? So we check in with ourselves, with our deep breaths, with how we're feeling, our emotions, with how our body feel, how our head feel, you know. When we allow our this is also another tangent. We might want to give our children more experiences out in the world, and I feel like if we're there as a supporting, facilitating parent. So say for instance, our child's like, Mom, I really want to do gymnastics. You say, okay, I'm gonna sign you up. Your child is going to want to experience those things out there in the world. But I feel like to like be a guiding force of like standing and solidifying within self, parents should be there as like a face, supportive face, to assist the child in development, especially in the hobbies and things like that. Because I promise you that will build self-trust and self-loyalty. And when we start, I promise you, because when the child is out in the world and we start thinking like, that we assist them in making the right choices, this is their aspect of you like being the facilitator about their choices, and you can, assist them, easy guide them, easy redirect, you feel me, type thing. Right now we can eat this, you feel me. This is a really good time period from now until about October 3rd to really think about that. And I'm really saying October 3rd because I think that's when Venus gets out of Leo, but I haven't checked. But I know Venus retrograde ends September 4th, and then Jupiter retrograde starts, and then all I'm saying, this is just a really good time to think about that, especially after the new year comes. December 7th, stations December. Yeah, I really think that you all, that'll really eat, like for real. Because if we realize all this stuff now, everything basically gets out of retrograde by December 27th. You feel me? You did. Because Neptune retrograde stations December 6th from being retrograde. And then it goes direct December 7th. And then after December 7th, then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 6 days later, Mercury stations. Oh, wait, my bad, y'all. Mercury goes retrograde the 13th, 6 days after Neptune. Oh, yes. 30 days. What was that? I'm thinking around January 11, 2024. That'll just assist us better. So whatever program start around then, let's really start thinking about that, prepping, and also setting our schedule, because this gives parents enough time to basically get our schedules together, get the schedule together type thing. Okay. All right, y'all. So I'm sorry to be off of a tangent like that. Ascendant 1, Scorpio. There is levels to it, and there is uncertainties to levels. So how do we deal with our uncertainty? How do we realize our inner uncertainty? Do we even peep it? Because it's getting right in our digestion, right in our stomach, right in our nerves, holding things in. But that is actually something we should be aware of. It's I am deepening. I am growing, deepening more awareness to my own accountability, what it means to be accountable for yourself, what it means to be accountable for my own decisions. As we're out here saying, it'll make us better parents to trust in the decisions that our children are making when we're around them through, facilitation and effort, right? But right now we can flip it and mold it and use it to ourselves. Like, yes, this is beneficial to the upcoming generation, but this is also beneficial right now for me. Me, fairy godmother, me. It's very beneficial to me. But it is one step at a time. Prioritizing the self. Prioritizing the decisions of self. So this is a really good time. This is a really good time. Whole time. I need to do this myself. See the things that we are paying on our credit card, our debit cards, and ask ourselves, is this stuff useful? Start looking at our statements on our cards. Do we actually use that account anymore? Do we really need this? We got Netflix, we got Disney Plus, we got everything else. Do we really need that? How much we paying? Sometimes we're unaware about the things that we're paying. And this is a good time to be more aware about the things that we are accountable for, the things that we are desiring, the things that we are journeying into, the things that we are becoming aware of. I like this. I like this a lot because this is really giving like, this is 100% giving the awareness of own experiences. Out in the world, this is a time of experiencing, and then reflecting. But the reflecting part is more so the growing process of reflection. So when we out in the world, we just be, oh yeah, world, I'm taking you on. Okay, the next day, oh yeah, world, I'm taking you on. Are we even reviewing and reflecting about how the day went, how it impacted us? Are we even realizing about how our own perspectives and our own decisions are impacting us? And right now, this is the moment to start realizing that aspect. This is a part of us experiencing life based on our shared experiences, based on our parents, their caretakers, our grandparents, whoever was our caretakers. We are learning the life, our world, our experiences based off of the foundations that they gave us, based off of the foundations that we had: childhood, elementaryhood, teenhood, pre-adulthood. We are using all of those foundational wisdoms as we stepping out into the world. And now this is a lot of layers to see, the things that our parents didn't give to us. And you might feel a little anger. But not seeing the facet of how they survived and what they gave to us nonetheless. That takes courage. That takes a whole lot of reflection nonetheless, right? Deepening. Accountability. And a lot of times we want to point fingers at. We get upset. But through our awareness, we are growing experiences nonetheless that we can use to our advantages, add to our tools, add to our own tools, our own steps, so we can be more secure in ourselves and our values and our understandings about the monies we have, about our needs, about our life experiences, about our experiences that it took to be an individual. Because that's really what we need to be doing. We need to flip and see it. Everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own story. And that's not something everybody be out here like, saying on their sleeves. This is giving pirate stories, and I don't even know why, but I need us to be mindful about the things that we are breaking away and being aware about our own emotions, needs, feelings, energies. But also, this is a really wonderful facet to deepening our awareness to our mind and how our minds impact our body and our thoughts. It's like the rewiring process of our thoughts on our desires. And that isn't an overnight thing, baby. That isn't an overnight thing, baby, because we are the authority figure now, the leader now. But really, what does that mean? We got to change the views about that, because, baby, if everybody did what everybody did last life, that means we all going to be in the same pot, same situation. It's getting crabs in the bucket, right? So for us to beat it out, we got to push and shove. We also might be what's ours. We need to define what is ours and what is not ours. What is ours? What is not ours? What is mine? What is not mine? That's feelings, that's emotions, that's approaches to life. That's how you see yourself. What is mine and what is not mine? What is mine? What is no longer mine? Because ultimately here we're learning sacrifice. But that is a practical sense of sacrifice. Sacrifice would be like, oh my gosh, they finna cut my hands off. They finna take my children. No, sacrifice is a loss that we feel. It could be grief. It could be deep. It could be hard. You feel like, this is it. But through that facet, it allows us to, you feel me, our awareness be like, boom, 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 steady growing. And discernment is learned. Discernment is given. We're learning grace. We're learning what it really means to be an individual, the survival methods of an individual. This is also very much giving fight and flight, being aware of how survival has impacted us, impacted our mind, impacted our brain, impacted our awareness to connect to one another, impacted our awareness to see ourselves, impacted our awareness to see ourselves. It's also giving erosions, like, okay, we're gonna keep going. We are going to keep going. The Grand Canyon is giving erosions for real. Mountains, erosions. Pipe erosions. This is a really good time. Battery erosions. Like people, check your batteries. Check all of that. Check the heat and how it's impacting the car. Check how we are, what is it called? When y'all know in the systems and PCs, and the PCs be like having the fans, and the fans be like turning on real loud and be like, you feel me? Overheating the systems. Yes, 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 yes. We need to be very mindful about that. Okay. Okie dokies. So we looked at the ascendant, and after we look at the ascendant, we look at the ruler of the ascendant. And why do we do that? Right answers only. So the ascendant ruler is Pluto, and I'm not using you did because I want you all to be able to see it. And Pluto, we know, is in Capricorn. Capricorn is the internal systems. Capricorn is the big name of the system. Okay, Capricorn is like the system as it all. Okay, we're gonna see it as that. The outer layer of the system. Okay, so if the outer layer of the system looking all nice and span, you should be hoping the inner layer of the system looking nice and span. But it take inner from outer. You feel me? Go inner than outer. Inner than outer work. Inner than outer work. Okay. A lot of times people be just making sure that the top layer be looking all good, like inner than outer, okay? Inner than outer. Okay, so Pluto is in the third house. Third house is the awareness of the awareness of the continuous version of selves is changing. It's changing. It says it's changing. We can't be fixed in our nature, or at least we shouldn't be fixed in our nature. We should be using the previous awarenesses and wisdoms of the previous traditions, of our mothers, of our fathers, of the viewpoints of authoritativeship, of what it means to step in our purpose, of what it means to lead, of what it means to be a parent, of what it means, you feel me, to masking. Yeah, we was just saying, it's giving, the movies Robot, and they was like, why be you when you can be new? What? If you don't get them parts I need, if you don't get the parts I need, also, if you don't get the parts I need, okay. Well, we need to watch that movie, Robots. So this is just really reviewing what serves us, what doesn't service us, okay? What's useful, what's not useful. Also, our joints, we're not stretching. Y'all. That's why I had that out here. I was saying to myself, Why did I even have this thought? Yesterday I was sitting here and I was printing a chart, okay? And I'm just like, okay, period. And it thought to me, it came to me and said, you're really supposed to be exercising and at least stretching every day, because the body work is to move the stagnancy, the stagnant energy in all body parts. That's why we should exercise and move. Exercise and move. That is why we need to move our body. We need to be stretching our joints, especially. How is our joints? We need. It's y'all know when Allison. No, sorry. Y'all know the Wiz when. It's not the robot. The Iron Man. It's like, I can't move because I need some oil for my joints. The joints need oil. The joints need oil. The joints need to be moved. The joints need to have a continuous movement. We need to be stretching every day. And I mean one of them deep stretches. Like, get down, you feel me? Make sure you're not sitting down, you feel me? You need to be standing up. I got shorts on. All right, y'all, we live. So we need to be standing down. Boom. Hitting one of these, okay? Hitting one of these, stretching. Legs open. That way stretch. That way stretch. That way stretch. Okay? Now we need to sit down and do the same way. We need this. Our body needs this. Our spinal system needs this. Okay? Our joints need this. Our nervous system needs this. Our fingers need this. Maybe we're thinking about massages. Maybe we need to be doing more nightly massages, especially in our like a stretching night routine. What's this, third house? They're 6 Capricorn. Y'all used to like doing puzzles or something as a kid with y'all family. What is that? 6, 15 books, reading books, crossword puzzles. It's something. It could be that pottery again. Ooh, it could also be that the rusting of the pipes. That's what I'm talking about. That's really kind of not funny, but you know, haha, funny. It's also city streets. They need to look at their plumbing. It could be a lot of rust on plumbing, a lot of rust on metals in general. This is a really good time to see the connection, especially if you all don't live in this, like wherever you used to live as a child. This is a really good time to see how your community as a childhood has grown, has developed, and how you has grown and developed. You feel me? And share those experiences with your children, your child, it's your siblings. And this is also a really good time to see, you feel me, the growth and development of you all's relationship as like siblings. I'm so sorry, my cat is moving from one area to another area. All right, you all. So yeah, really to see the growth and the development of you and your childhood friends, you and your childhood friends, really there. 100% childhood, and as well as your friends when you were 15. So like, what is that? Early high school. See the growth and changes of you all. See the growth and changes of you all's life. What things have, you know, changed and gone on, and how has your viewpoints grown and developed? Really looking at that. This is a really good time to see things from a more mature. But it's giving nature versus nurture. Like when I said that mature, it was nature versus nurture immediately. So what does maturity mean to us? Maybe that is a really good time for us to start reviewing what it means to age, what it means to mature, what it means to grow gracefully. Because here it's a whole lot of keep going. It's here. It is a whole lot of just need to see the growth, fixed mindsets, maybe restrictive viewpoints, limited viewpoints about growth and development. I like this a lot. I like this a lot because if we eat this as an individual, if we eat this as a unit, if we eat this as a system, right? Each of us individually and each of us as a system. You feel me? The fucking group. The group is us, the self, and as a parent, and as a leader, and as a teacher, and how we view education, and how we view what it means to lead, what it means to have wisdom. You feel me? Once we review and break down and transform that viewpoint, I think honestly it allows us to see the growth of ourselves more gracefully. It allows us to be more open, to allow people to continue growing and blossoming, to the people, to the person, to the individual that they are supposed and destined to be. You feel me? It allows us to give compassion to others 100%. 100%. But this is just a 3-9 for real, because it's giving like it's a hypocrite out there, and you're just like, okay, breaking the hypocrite. Okay. So we looked at Pluto, and we're gonna also look at Mars. Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio. So Mars, we know that Mars is a very cave-like, deep as they say it's red, but it's not really, like, it's not. Okay, we gotta keep going. Okay, we're looking for Mars. All right, y'all. Mars is in the 11th house. So we know that, once again, 3 is the individual, the growth of the awareness of the individual, the identity. And from the 11th, we realized that we didn't do this by ourselves. We didn't start this the way by ourselves. It came from somebody else. Everybody got to do their own bat. And you feel me? This is the awareness of ourselves within the group within ourselves. But here we need to be very mindful about whose desires is it. Damn, whose is it? Whose desires is it? Whose desires is it? Is it 7? Oh my God, this is Mars and Virgo. Okay, systems. Judgmental viewpoint about the self because of the traditional viewpoints about the systems. Okay, group thought really got us. If we don't beat up this 7-1 for this 1-7, I promise you, it's not gonna allow the individual to blossom, because traditional viewpoints is only, who is this servicing? Our awareness about other people allows us what? To grow awarenesses about the continuous versions about the world out there, right? So we're supposed to be taking that information in to building the many steps and layers of fulfillment. Fulfillment, I promise you, continues growing. Short-term goals, continues blossoming. Long-term goals, continues blossoming. So how can we use our long-term goals for our benefit? How can we mold them and be aware of them? How can we use our energy wisely to establish our long-term goals? It's like desperate to serve a system, but what if the system is yourself? What if the system's yourself, for real? How can we mold that desire outward, inward? We can start seeing the many hats and layers of ourselves. That's it right there, babes. That's it right there. So this Venus is retrograde. We're talking about the systems. But what about the approaches of the systems? The identity of the systems? What about the needs of the system? What about the emotional connections of the system? What about the solidifying forces of the system? Because the system needs the ability to connect to the internal source, right? Connect out. Venus is in the 10th house, and it's 28th degree. And I like this because Venus is usually it's not even usually. Venus's babies That's what I like to call them. Because Venus rules these signs of emotional connection, Taurus, and material viewpoints, Libra. We're only going to use those small aspects. And I like it because it's both receptive. But here, we're in Leo. You feel me? Receptive. Receptive. We're all receptive because we're, orbiting around the sun. So we're receptive of the sun. So here, with Venus being in the sun's home, because the sun rules Leo, I think about the fact that people have two viewpoints about Venus. The evening star of Venus and the morning star of Venus. And here we get to see the duality of higher wisdom, of connection, of growth, of leadership. What does it mean to be a leadership? And now we're going to learn the different phases, the evening, the morning star. So here, I think in Leo season, Venus will be more brighter, way more brighter. But right now, I think in Leo season, most definitely, you'll be able to see Venus right outside the sky. Most definitely. But with this, the two layers, I want us to be very mindful about the two layers of connections to ourselves. And that's really just the two faces, the external face we have and the internal face that we do have. What systems are we a part of? And how do they service us? How are they useful to us? What does that mean and what does that look like? Venus, everyone says, is the planet of love, of beauty, of sex, of fertility. But I believe Venus is very strategic. Venus has a strong relationship with Saturn. Venus has a strong relationship with Jupiter. So we know that through strategic patience, devotions, it's all a part of Venus. We know that all these facets are a part of Venus, and that grows Venus, strengthens Venus, we can say. So how are we devoting our time to ourselves? How are we devoting our connections to ourselves? And really that means don't forget the inner you when you become all these facets, all these layers, all these identities, all these hats that we wear. Don't forget about the inner you. We're not supposed to. And here, when we're deepening our aversions and our awareness to our inner us, allow ourselves to see ourselves. What layers and what versions are we showcasing to the world? And is that really us? But this is also the using the facet of how to incorporate. You feel me? There's a positive aspect of this, and the positive aspect is, you feel me, knowing when to hold them, knowing when to fold them. If somebody walk up to you, you can't be on my mornings, I can't be, you feel me, in the morning. I can't be, oh my goodness, I can't be nice Venus. You feel me? I gotta be the person. I gotta be, you feel me? You understand? It's all about knowing when to use the resources, knowing when to use the systems, knowing what you got to know when to use them, literally. But if we don't know what we have, how are we going to know when to use them? How are we going to be able to incorporate the interlooping facets of ourselves within the continuous expressions of our viewpoints about life? I promise you, seventh house, because that's our viewpoints about the other layers. That's also our viewpoints about relationships. So here our focus is on the viewpoints about maybe our moms and our dads' relationships, and about what marriage looks like, about what it means to long-term be with somebody. What does that mean? What does that mean? And what's the face they show outwards, and what's the face inside? Okay, what does it mean to be in a long-term relationship? What does it mean to be an adult? What does it mean to still be an individual and to still be a leader and to still have all these different phases and have all these different approaches that you feel me? How can I infuse all that within myself? What does it mean to step into my purpose? What systems do I need to continuously allow development of self, to continuously allow the development of that purpose? You feel me? Because I promise you, he was like, oh yeah, I'm 7, I want to be a doctor. You're out there in college, and you're like, I'm gonna take this geometry exam because I want to be a biochemist. So we have different viewpoints, values, and awarenesses about ourselves, and the outside and the inward need to be on the same path and page. Because what we really presenting? But once again, it's a really positive aspect, because if you using it to your benefit, what are you presenting out into the world? How is it aligning to you? How is it aligning to your viewpoints, your visions about yourself? Also, this looks like Midhaven conjunct Sun. Yeah, this is someone's boss. DNA. Okay, let's talk about that one. So, if we start off reading this as a story and in Venus retrograde as the last bit, it is saying that the sun's awareness to our emotional depth in Cancer season. We need to be very mindful about the illusions, okay, baby? It's illusions. It's illusions. Illusions about the identity. Illusions about really what's going on in the world. Illusions about maybe people's feelings. People's security regarding faith and trust. And it's kind of giving a wounded, abandoned. Maybe we might have, we're working through feeling abandoned. But the emotional awareness that this light is bringing, the midhaven or the highest point. What's his name? Leo? Sends us really trying to figure things out. And here, it leads us to deepening facets, you know, seeing the continuous facet of life experiences and taken away. But it's more like seeing the power and abuse of authority figures, of older people, of systems. Oof. And it could be, especially child government systems. What is it called? Oh my goodness. Like, I can't think of it right now, but child government systems. How children are treated outwardly in the world, protected outwardly in the world. This is also children celebrities and their viewpoints, like being out in the world and growing up in the spotlight of the world. There might be more conversations about that, especially in Leo season, probably more so the beginning of Leo season, but it's not going to be like openly just said like, oh, these are the things that I put through. No, it'll be like riddly said it. It is a conversation to start here, and you won't hear about it again until, give me un momento. It might come back again Scorpio season, but once again, it won't be obvious until Aquarius season. And with the Aquarius season, it'll be back up again, whatever happened in Scorpio season. Because here it's in, I'm looking at Uranus is in 22 degrees Taurus, and that is about, probably could be some information, people talking about it. 22 degrees, I think it's Capricorn. Let me just make sure. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, and we'll really hear more about it. Let's see, Saturn was there. Saturn's a ruler as well. Where is, okay, yeah, Pisces season. Yeah, if not Aquarius season, the end Pisces season. The end Pisces season. Yeah, most definitely the end Pisces season. And probably again around Aries season now, the next year, 19. Yeah, people more so be open, more so to talk about how their own experiences allowed them to. It's more so their early experiences about the world allowed them to be more mindful about their expression of themselves, really their viewpoint about themselves, and their connection of that source. So here, I feel like after a time period, probably when they were 19 or something, they felt that. 2D, Aries season, we get the information. Okay, back to Venus. Yep, back to Venus. Venus, 28th degree Leo. Just really be very mindful about our own energies, our own desires, our own wills, because this Leo season, this time period, this Venus in retrograde, can allow us to really check in with our own desires, our own viewpoints, our own pushes, our own engines. This is a really good time to, think about our car. Remember to check in. We're not trying to get the work done yet. Okay? But that is really much it for the Venus retrograde, you all. Let's see. Else the opposition. Oh my goodness. Is this is a 10? Oh no, I need it to be a 4. Opposition of this, Aquarius, Taurus, 22 degree. We need to be very mindful about, give me 1 second. Yes, about our alcohol intake. Yes, we need to, if we're thinking about drinking alcohol with other people, make sure that we are eating foods. And I'm seeing like breads, grainy food we need to be eating so we don't get too drunk, because it can like throw off our systems. And yeah, it's a no. But that's what I also wanted to talk about. When I was in the shower, you all, I like to have music playing, and this Venus retrograde, it has nothing but north node conversation. So this version of the reading started when I was in the shower, and from the screenshot it says around 108. But this song, The Best Day Ever, came on, and I was like, okay, that's really crazy, because one, SpongeBob is not really on my playlist like that, like for real. And two, this song don't ever play. But in my head, I was like, bro, I think this is SpongeBob, like The Best Day Ever. And I was like, I wonder where is Gary gonna play next? But it didn't play next. It went to back my regular music, went to Before It. Dang, I wonder if I can play it. Ooh, let's see. What was Before It? Yeah, I was in there most definitely. Oh my goodness, don't tell me I can't find it, y'all. Oh my goodness. I'm going back. Like, we finna find this. Hey, we was most definitely. Okay, I think I'm coming up on that. Yes, here I come. Yes, okay, so before it was the healing tone. It was 174, Earth's healing tone for sleep. Okay, so whatever's going on with our sleep, we need to be more mindful about what's going on in our sleep. Be mindful about our dreams. Be mindful how our ancestors are communicating with us. Our higher creator is communicating with us. But also how our dreams are giving messages to us. That leads us into another part of this chart. Okay, wonderful. So then The Best Day Ever played, okay? Boom. It's playing. Excellent. But then it goes back to I Want to Be Your Lover by Prince. So that's just my normal music. Okay, that's just normal music. So from that, I said, okay, whatever happened to, when did this song came out? This came out in 2004. So if you all originally read the Patreon post for the new nodal switch, it said that what happened during the period of December 27, 2004 to June 22nd, 2006. So since we know that the best day ever came out in 2004, let's see what time, what day. When did it come out? Oh, actually, it was 2006, you all. The release date. It was September 12th, 2006. Oh my goodness. This is right after the nodal. Yep, 100%. 100%. That's very funny. I wonder why I said that song came out in 2004 though. I don't know. Look, y'all, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. But since we have that information, let's look at where the nodes are. And then let's look at this other part of the chart that this just brought up. So the node is, okay, this pencil doesn't have any. So I don't know if this is a mean node or if this is the true node. So right here, it's, no, this is the true node. So here it says 29 degree in Aries. And right conjunct that is Aries. And Aries, we all know from the story of Pandora and Aries. Remember you all to read that story, Aries and Pandora. Aries didn't get invited because, you know, the guys didn't invite her to this wedding. She said, all right, say less, I'm going to send y'all the gift. And this gift was, all right, whoever is the most beautiful has to open this box. It wasn't those words exactly. But then everybody started fighting. Everybody was like, oh no, I'm the fairest. Oh no, she ain't. She got this big old lip. She thinks she better than me. Let me tell you who looks good. You feel me? They was going at it, my girl. So since they was going at it, Pandora's box was open. Boom. All these dramatic things came out of the box. All these spears. Ooh. Anyways, we're gonna look at it as, you know, emotional. I don't want to say immaturity. We're not saying that at all. But it's just using our experiences to our benefit, so we don't have to experience this Eris and Pandora situation. Okay. So here, to be more mindful, that we need to be more mindful about how we really feel about ourselves, how we feel, how other people can impact our viewpoint about ourselves. And really, that's seeing all the many layers of ourselves. That's what we need to do to overcome this. See the many layers of ourselves. See the many usefulness within ourselves. See the usefulness within us. I am who? I like what? I am useful to who? Myself. How am I useful to myself? I am useful to myself by woo. I am useful to myself by woo. I'm useful to my routine by woo. I'm using my energy wisely, my routine by woo. Because it goes, if we're reading it backwards from 6 going to 1, it goes North Node, 29 degree conjunct Eris, 25 degree conjunct Chiron, 19 degree. And how we originally started out, said Chiron retrograde ends December 26th. Excuse me. Sorry, retrograde stations, the stations that day. That's when it goes. So, sorry you all. This is really the prep. I am so sorry you all. Chiron stations, the retrograde stations, December 26th. I'm not going to give y'all the time, but 100%. So we can use all of this facets right now to basically be more aware of ourselves. It's giving that we feel judged by other people about our own life, about our own routines, about our own habits, about our own lifestyles. And that could just be something that we, you know, people projecting on us, but also that we can project to other people. So this is the time for us to be more aware of ourselves. All right, you all. I love you all. But I got a whole bunch of names for this video. So it's called the Mooveable Door, Venus retrograde. It's called either The Mooveable Door or Journeying Beneath the Surface. Okay? Or it's called The Psychological Engine. I'm not really sure. But you are going to do a playing card reading right now, 5303. You write that down. Okay, 5303. Playing card. So with this, it's probably not 5303 because I have 2-part video. I think because I saw this in the water, so this is why we have to talk about this now. Oh wait, we have to talk about Cheshire paying the whole your dream thing. Okay, so before we start this playing card, the playing card message is going to, I believe, a red queen. And it's a sideways queen because it was this lady when I was brushing my teeth constantly looking at me in the water. And she was only like half face and looking at me. I was like, you got nothing else to do? Like, and every time I would just like continue brushing my teeth, you know, water is continuously flowing in there. She just keeps, I'm like, you're not going away at all. So I said that the red sideways queen needs water. So when she had more water, she was more flexible. She wasn't just looking at me, but she was still there nonetheless. Okay. So with this, it's going to allow flexibility for both sides. Flexibility for both sides. Remember we said we need to have the dual faces of ourselves, the ones that we show externally and then internally. Because then after that, it says, I saw a knave, and that's what I heard. It's a knave coming. You know, that's a knight. You know, that's nothing but a jack in these cards. And he was on this nice horse. And I was like, oh, he got on some his armor, but his armor wasn't his big daddy armor, so it's not no jack of hearts, I don't think. But it's a black knave. It's a black knave. But let's get into that Cheshire cat, because that is really what I want to talk about for this Venus retrograde. The Cheshire cat, the asteroid, is very influential because it's giving like stop and start. Like, oh, I don't know, Alice started. So maybe we need to watch Alice in Wonderland. All of Alice in Wonderland's Through the Looking Glass, all of that, because we can use that Through the Looking Glass as a prep for. I know you're lying. Oh yeah, my bad. A prep for. Yeah, I guess we can use it to prep for Taurus season, but it's really going to be influential for Aries season. Okay, so it's for Taurus season, but it's really the prep for Aries season. So I'm saying Aries season, like, it's not like March 21st. We need to be on it March 21st type thing. But I think it's a leap year this year, so is it March 19th? I'm not sure. Whenever Aries season first starts. So with this Cheshire cat, okay, it's the sun. Okay, maybe we need to talk about Pan. Pan, we all remember from last astrology video that Pan was there, and it's more so like if something is presented to you, how are you going to act? Are you going to give people their due just? And that's what we need to be very mindful of. Okay, be very mindful of that. Do not try to like steal from anybody. Do not try to get over on anybody. This is not the time to do that, okay? Excellent. So from this, we need to see the dual perspectives of ourselves. But we also need to be more mindful about how there is constant communication within the environments. That could be with animals. That could be like butterflies. That could be, it's really just outside. It's also in our dreams. It's also with children. Children are going to be like giving us messages, picking up information. And also might be in, is it a moon Neptune? It's a moon Neptune. It could be TV. It can literally be, you feel me, books, TVs. It's hella TVs here. Book, TV, maybe you at the movies, maybe you hearing something, some music. Oh yeah, how you feel, the conversations you're having, things that bring you joy, aha moments, the thoughts that are coming directly to you, all those things. Moon Neptune is moving in, this inspiration is moving in, and it's coming in riddles. It's coming like, it's not coming all at once, okay? It's not coming all at once. So we need to be very mindful about the people who are speaking in riddles. But also that might mean that you all come from people who speak in riddles. People don't always speak in things as what they saying is as it mean. You feel me? It's giving patty cake, you know, patty cake, patty cake, patty cake, patty cake, baker's man. You feel me? All of that good stuff. Oh, Mary, Mac, Mac, Mac. All dressed in black, black, black. With silver buttons, buttons, buttons. Up, down her back, back, back. She asked her mother, mother, mother for 15 cents, cents, cents to see the elephant, elephant, elephant. Jump over the fence, fence, fence. You feel me? All those good jumps. Because then they had additional parts that we knew nothing about. They had other forms of communication that we knew nothing about. They were also saying things and giving words and messages that we don't know, right? But these songs, these riddles, these forms of communication that our ancestors, our previous guides, our generations, this is how they communicated. This is how they, passed information on. Through these songs, through these themes. Mother Goose is very imperative. Mother Goose is very imperative. Nursery rhymes. The information that was given to us as children is still being passed along. I promise you. I promise you. My mama didn't teach me how to do them. I went to summer camp one day and I was like, "Oh, mama, lay down." Mickey, corner of the cow say, "Heck, you say, bulldog, bulldog." You know me? I was going crazy with it. She was like, "Well, how did you know that?" In this innate knowledge being passed down. You feel me? So, with this, what childhood experiences did we go through like that? What childhood experiences did we learn about, especially through song, especially through word of mouth, especially through like oral history? Why is oral history important to us? A lot of us have so many different dialects, many different tones, many different, you feel me? We come from many backgrounds. And a lot of our times we couldn't always write it down. We didn't probably have the resources. We probably didn't know how to do it. So here, recordings is going to be very popular, especially records. People start talking about how the importance of records and maybe how music has transformed. Radio, CDs, your thingies, what is it called? You put in your ear. Your Walkman, you feel me? You got your CD player, you feel me? All the many modes of transportation, of connection, of source, whatever that may look like, okay? So here, we need to be very mindful. Well, not even that. We come to people who speak in riddles. They're saying something and they say read between the lines. This is a time period of learning to read between the lines, my love. Maybe from that, it teaches us Socratic method. Socratic method. So, we are learning so lot. We are learning so much. And it's truly up to us to see the layers. You feel me? To see the depth of the learning. To see the depth of the learning. They speak in riddles, my love. Your ancestors, your people speak in riddles. They speak in tongues. They speak in different forms. Also be very mindful about the illusions, the smoke, the fogginess, the brain fog, the body fog. And how do we get accustomed and grounded to oneself? What's that? With all these experiences happening, with all these experiences happening within. All right, y'all, we lit. Well, y'all, it's over an hour. I am so sorry. I need to get better at this. All right. True Eye Queen, y'all. Let's get it. All right, you all. What is the Venus retrograde? Message. We need to be very mindful about our respiratory system and how it impacts our cardiovascular system. Especially our heart. Y'all know what this really gave me? We need to get more accustomed to how the Earth's rhythms are. So an easy aspect, especially during the facet, because we all live in, like, it's a summertime area environment right now, is to be, it's early in the morning, not really, the sun is out, a lot of people not at the beach, not by the water, and you're hearing the tides go out, the tides come in. Get your breath on that flow. Once you learn that flow, see that flow in other aspects, such as the trees, such as how the clouds are moving. You feel me? Start to realize the different aspects of how the earth is vibrating and showing that to you, that facet. Our trees do it, our plants do it, but they all do them at different motives and different times, and it's really up to us to see it. You mean that's really our scope, that's really our map. And if we not tuned in, you feel me, we ain't tapped in, you feel me, if we ain't focus our awareness, we just taking a picture of anything. You feel me? When you take a picture, they tell you, remember, you gotta focus. Where's your camera focusing, my love? Where's your camera focusing? Where is your camera focusing? Wow. Where's your camera focusing? Talk about it. I thought it was like a whole bunch of cards that come up. Just 2 cards? Bro, this is a wonderful message. Excellent. Okay, 9 of clubs. Reverse, 8 of hearts upright. I love it. It's all about, you can't think through it, you gotta feel through it. You gotta feel it to be able to use your thinking. You gotta feel it to be able to use your thinking. Also, divine wisdom is given to us, is coming to us, is around us, and we don't see it. Ask our guides, how can we be more aware? Ask our guides, how can we be more aware to how they are communicating to us, how the information is coming to us? How can we better connect the information so that we can be more aware? How can we be more aware of the environment? How can we be aware of ourselves? How can we be more aware of what's going on in the moment, to be more aware of what's going on in the entire world? You feel me? Our focus really needs to be on internal to be external. And here, the 9 of clubs being reversed allows us to focus more on the 8 of hearts, because here the black card is already signaling the fact that we need to be internal. And here the 8 of diamonds, the 8 of hearts says, now we need to see the balance and effort of our emotions, of our internal systems, and how they are impacting us. We were just talking about the cardiovascular system and the not respiratory. I mean, that needs to look at too, because the club is reversed. We need to really be thinking about how our energy is impacting us, and that's to also be like, maybe we're not seeing, how is our relationship to our child? How is us as the parents' relationship to our parent? What do we take away from our parents' relationship as a child? What do we take away from our parents' relationship as an adult? And what are we implementing in our child's relationship right now? This is a really good time to not emotionally spend, because right now we should be more aware of our own emotional sensitivities and not be aware of like the lack. This is like learning through experience, and the experience is broadening our heart. And here the heart broadening is really allowing us to pick and choose, what's worth it. Pick and choose in the battles, pick and choose in the relationships that service us, that gives to us, that nourishes us, and things that's not like we always filling somebody else's cup. Are they filling our cup? Give to things that are worthy to you. What's worthy to you? Because here it's a misunderstanding of what's worthy to us, like as an individual right now. Maybe we may have some old viewpoints and visions about like worthy, loyalty, deepness, our relationships. Maybe we really be looking at our relationships based on length and not based on like the growth and maturity of the version of ourselves, because a lot of times that's really what we need to be looking at it from. If people aren't allowing you to continue growing and blossoming to the person that you're destined to be, are they like allowing you to grow? Are you allowing your own self to grow? What aspects of ourselves we need to be more mindful of, especially like the limited perspectives about the growth of ourselves. And this is a really good time to like be nicer and be kinder to ourselves, because it allows us to see the previous awarenesses. This allows us to set better foundations. This allows us to be more nurturing of ourselves. When we see the many layers, the many versions of ourselves, when we see who we are right now, we can nurture that aspect. But when we don't see that, we don't nurture that aspect because we don't know what needs to be nurtured. Stop trying to like hold on to relationships that make you feel good emotionally. That makes you feel good physically. Do they add substance and sustenance to your mind, to your body, to your life experiences, to the growth and the development of you? The growth and the development of the many layers of yourself. How can you grow and set better foundations for the growth of your upcoming decisions, upcoming families, upcoming steps? Ten of Diamonds here is 100%. I love it. It's my favorite card in the whole deck. Like, this is very learning. This is like we can talk to somebody because someone has been through. You feel me? It's like everybody been through the same lesson, but different perspectives from the lesson. But different perspectives. Can you clarify? Okay, you want me to get big. 6 of Hearts, yeah, 100%. 6 of Hearts plus the 8 of Hearts. What's that? 4 makes 12. 5 makes King. 6 of Hearts makes the more awareness to stuff. Yeah, that's probably what it is. The systems. Also, if we haven't been eating, it's like dark fruits, beets. We need to be more mindful about our lower wheel. When I say our lower wheel, I'm not saying like our animalistic needs, desires, and that's not saying our carnal needs, desires, but it's asking us to rise above that. What does that mean to rise above? What does that mean to rise above? Also, we're in school. We have a lot of things going on. We need a binder. We need a journal. We need something we write, a scheduler. That's what it is. We need a scheduler. And it's also an emotional check-in. How often do we check in with ourselves? And a lot of times, journaling don't always work for me 100%. We need to have like a journal, something that's specifically based on emotional awareness, emotional check-in. So that's what we need to start thinking about for ourselves. And maybe that's, we have I'll make one and I will print it and we can just print it off. How do you feel? Sketch, okay? So I will make that for us. So it'll be easier for us. And that'll be a freebie, okay? Okay, so let me write that down. Emotional check-in. Okay, excellent. Okay, so 9 of Clubs reverse. It's head sensitivity. Are we doubting ourselves? Are we unsure about our own decisions? When we make decisions, how do we trust ourselves? How can we better trust ourselves? This is really what it means. We need to better trust ourselves. What does it mean to trust ourselves? What does it mean to trust as a child? What is our relationship to trust? And this is a really good facet to look at that. Because now we are an adult, we can give ourselves that love and that nurturance that we're going to need, right? Our inner child is going to need. And that's also allowing us to better be more mindful about the many layers and the many versions of ourselves and their own fears, their own needs, their own desires, and how we can be more but more, I want to say aware, so we can like give them, you feel me, like schedule the nourishment that they need. So if you know you like to do basketball and you know you ain't been going to the court, maybe you get off on Friday, you can, go to the court, see who's up there, call your boys, you feel me? Can you clarify this 9 of Clubs reverse? Okay. Jack of Hearts. And I was saying, it ain't the Jack of Hearts. Okay. Okay, I understand. I understand. To be afraid to use the previous awareness. You're unsure. But what brings assurance? This is also someone who's signing. Congratulations on the people who are signing, like going to the next step in the military or any facet of the military, and thinking about the next steps of yourself. But if you think about what you are going to need as a continuous version, what is your long-term goals, what are your next steps, if you think about it from that perspective, you can use this benefit to like use as a foundation to where you want to go. Okay, we're going to use our experiences as a wisdom, as a foundation to step off. Okay, because also the Jack of Hearts is kind of giving us the fool perspective, but not from the sense of like the, let me just be, because I just saw the Joker. That's what I'm saying. I just saw the red and the black Joker. So we can use this. Yeah, it's going to be a whole gift to us. 100%. We can use this as a benefit to grow our awareness about the steps, about the journey that we want to be on, to better align ourselves with things that we're going to need to prepare ourselves for the journey, right? To prepare ourselves for a journey, where the fuck we going? Where's the map? Okay. All right, you all. Let's do a little prescriptions and let's get up out of here. Y'all just keep falling. I do not like that. I don't like that. I want to be up tall too. I want to be able to see from the higher perspective and from the lower perspective. We need to use both understandings. It says nourish our temples. How has our stomach been? How has, y'all, that's what it was talking about. How has our intake been? We've been intaking. How has our outtake been? How have we been releasing? How has our been? Have we been eating more nourishing vegetables, enriching diets? What does that look like? And here we need to eat more dark colored vegetables, you know, broccoli, salads, kale. We need to like get our system out. Get it out of our system. How is our fruit intake as well? We're thinking about doing the hot rock massages. Okay, who are we going with? I see us going. It's like a couple's hot rock massages. Make sure you drink your water afterwards, and you share the experience, how it makes you feel, what senses you took over. How did your head feel? Because it was giving like, wow, your head is so calm now. It's also giving, what is it called when you use reflexology 100%, and how the bottom of the foot and how the nervous and the back and the spines can all be connected to the brain. So it's for me the many parts of the systems, the many out parts of the system. So we know we need to be very mindful about our out part of our system. So our underarms, our throats, our face breaking out, our stomach, bumps on our face. We need to be very mindful about that, and where they are. Yeah, nourish your system just keeps coming up, y'all. It's not even funny, and like we keep shuffling. All right, let's break it away. We need to be very mindful about our sensory gland. Also, it could be nose dripping. Is there a cold going on? We're sitting in front of the Vicks, and it's humidifier, and it's coming out, and it's steaming. Facial steams are very essential. They can be essential for our respiratory system, but it's also our sinuses. Be very mindful about that. Be very mindful about touching things and doing that, going right up our nose and right going out our eyes, because it can really irritate our system even more. And also, what are we touching? Be very mindful of how often we're washing our hands. How often are we washing our hands? When was the last time we washed our hands and cleansed our areas? The things that we're touching, are we very mindful about the things that we're touching on? Because we're touching all this stuff and then touching sensitive areas and objects like our phone, like our face, like our bracelets, you feel me? Like our eyes, like our glasses. We're touching all these things, but are we cleansing ourselves? Are we cleansing our spaces? Are we cleansing our minds? All right? Prescription. What is the prescription for the Venus retrograde? Move slow. Move slow. Be very mindful about our shoulders. Our shoulders are very sensitive. Yes. Okay. Alone time, movement. They're both is with our arms up. So we need to be very mindful about balance when we're standing up, and also balancing, strengthening each side of ourselves. And maybe we need to start with our right side, which means it is impacting our left side of our brain. So how is our left side of our brain impacting our body? How is our right side of our brain impacting our body? This is, we need to very much get in flow with the many tunes and frequencies of earth. And we were just talking about being alone by the water and hearing the flows. All right, you all. Movement. Remember, that's all by ourselves, to more so get in flow with the many internal systems of ourselves. And then the next card that fell out was Dream Journal. Dream Journal. The last back of the deck says Sound Healing. So there are frequencies that are constantly impacting us, and it's up to us to be very mindful how they are, impacting us, how we can work with them, how we can be mindful about them. The first card and the third card reflect the same thing, but one means we need to get out into the world to experience ourselves. For the last card to come back into ourselves to experience ourselves. Be mindful of our sleep, especially our sleep during the day. Our quick naps, the dreams that we're having. Be very mindful about how they're making our body feel and our nerves feel, especially our arms and our legs. And make sure we get into a nighttime routine of stretching. Okay, you all? Okay, you all? Okay, you all. I love you all, and happy, wonderful, merry Venus retrograde, you all. I love you all. See you all on Patreon.